Hello, and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I am your host, Tom Elwes. I'm joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Hello, Tom. Hello, listeners. Hope you're doing well. How you been, Tom?
Good.
Do you want me to read something for you?
Yeah, what is it?
So this was a tweet I happened upon today.
Oh, okay.
It's not about you, don't worry. It's sort of about you.
Okay. Was it just going to be about you then, or what?
Tweet written by
Ali Woods, too handsome.
And says, why are all these bitches at my yard? Chat like that. I don't, not on microphone.
Okay.
It's from Netflix Film.
Ooh.
And Netflix Film has 1.2 million followers, so almost as many as us.
Yeah.
A famed author, brackets, Brooke Shields, travels to Scotland hoping to buy a small castle of her own.
Ah.
But the prickly owner, brackets, Kerry Elwes, is reluctant to sell in A Castle for Christmas.
Wow.
Directed by Mary Lambert, opening its raw doors on Netflix November 26th. That is your younger brother, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. My younger brother, Kerry. Good on him. You know, he's doing good. No, he's not. He's my cousin. But yeah, he's you know.
Can you see that in the cameras? Can you see
I probably have to show them.
That's exactly what I thought Tom's cousin would look like.
Yeah,
that is your cousin.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've spoken about this on the podcast before. He is my cousin. He did peak in 1985 with a film called The Princess Bride and hasn't done much since. But you know,
what? Yeah, this is you don't know this, Vittorio. This is a renaissance for much maligned.
He's actually coming back now.
Disgraced actor.
Not disgraced, just forgotten about. Forgotten about.
Just the allegations.
Who was he?
He was the main guy. He was Dread Pirates. Robert, you know.
That's your cousin?
Yeah.
That's Vittorio, by the way.
Yeah. Vittorio Angeloni, our producer, ladies and gentlemen.
Not me throwing my voice again.
That's the most excited I've ever been.
Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdly, you would have thought, I probably could have helped you out, mate. Got you somewhere in your career. Absolutely not.
This castle will need paupers.
Yeah, I could have. I'll do anything.
Does the castle have dancing teapots and sconces?
Yeah.
You could have been in A Castle for Christmas.
I know. I could have been if I had met him more than once in my life or twice in my life.
What do you say to him when you meet him? I'm actually trying to get into showbiz myself.
No, I haven't sin him in so many years.
No one has. He's been on screen.
I mean, to be honest, look, I'll put it. He lives in Los Angeles, and it's just a very but like I get, you know what? And when I say my cousin, I mean he's my dad's cousin. Yeah, he's my dad's first cousin.
Okay,
but we're not like, you know, I don't call him up. I don't have his number. Doesn't even reply to my DMs. So
get him on. Okay, so he was in Saw. Did you know that?
Yeah, he chopped his foot off in Saw. Yeah, that was big for him. Yeah. Yeah, he did chop his foot off in Saw. That was a period of time where I remember when that first Saw came out, and my dad was like, "Oh yeah, Carrie's he's in something. Actually, he's doing some stuff."
Get the whole family down to watch.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man, maybe he's gonna take off." Because I remember being a kid and my dad being like, "Oh yeah, but you know, he was in this film in I was like, the 80s film. That's shit." But then he was in Saw, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
He was in Saw. You saw him getting his foot chopped off.
Yeah.
And you were like, "You think that's disgusting?"
Yeah.
Watch me do a tight 10.
Exactly.
to a bunch of over 50s in Shipley.
Yeah.
In between a magic act and ventriloquism. So
I don't like to really talk about him because I know how far down my family totem pole for success I really am with him in whatever Christmas and my cousin in the Olympics. It's sort
and
of,
your parents must think of me as a sort of other son of theirs, I guess.
You know, sort of one they abandoned.
like Moses down the Nile, just chucked him in a river. But it's just
why not? Yeah,
not even the Thames.
Yeah,
it's like Severn or something like that.
Yeah,
down a brook.
I do actually have a ginger cousin. Yeah,
you call me a cousin.
I mean, the theory's out whether he's actually related, but
is this part of your family outreach?
Yeah,
is this like Angelina Jolie?
Yeah,
going to. I'm in Inverness. Look at these wild little orange heads. They can barely speak. They're like, they can barely speak English.
We'll take 3, actually. We'll take 3. Come with us, children. Come with us.
There's someone there at the orphanage. No, you must keep them out of direct sunlight for 9.5 months out of the year. Okay? Like, wow, just to learn about their culture. Yeah. So he was also in, Carrie Elwes.
Okay.
Robin Hood.
Men in Tights.
Men in Tights. Yeah. Is he Robin Hood in that?
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Kiss the Girls. He was in a film with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, he's been in loads of stuff, but he's just really peaked in
Family Guy for the last 7 years. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's done some stuff in that. All I know is he really peaked in about 1990. That was a real before I was born.
Stranger Things he's in.
The Princess Bride's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, but that's his best film by a long
But that's
way.
everyone's best film. Who's in it?
No, it's a really good film. I'm not gonna,
So anyway,
it was his like first and best film. So,
I was so.
my point being, Tom,
yeah.
Carrie Elwes, your
Yeah.
cousin, who is younger cousin, I assume.
Yeah,
He's
much.
like 56 or something.
Yeah.
I assume he's the sort of
Yeah.
you're looking after him and that.
Yeah. He looks up to
he's,
me. So.
he's now in another. He's back. That's the big news. Carrie Elwes is back.
Well, you know what?
Is he going to come on the podcast?
So I will reach. Look, if we could get him on the pod, it would be
As a
amazing.
Christmas special.
As a Christmas special, I will try. I don't actually. I could definitely get his email address.
I wanted your other cousin on the podcast until he disgraced the great British nation by coming third, by getting only bronze, only the third best in the world.
Yeah.
Embarrassment.
You know what? I actually do have a boat.
we
Like,
could be bloody good at rowing.
he actually, the way that people slagged off that rowing Olympic team was like unreal, including the press, just like calling him disgrace and like all this shit. It's like fuck off.
And it's weird because the people who are into rowing, you'd normally think are sort of very forgiving, charitable, people.
Liberal.
Like,
Liberal.
They're sort of hippie-ish, I'd almost say, of like, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. That's the rowing fans for you.
Just in it for the love of the sport, actually.
They went the right way and had a bloody good time, and
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say. So Carrie Elwes,
Yeah, back to this. Yeah.
reach out, I'd say. See
Yeah,
if he
I
wants
mean,
to come
look.
on via. We can get him up on this big screen here.
Yeah, from Hollywood.
From Hollywood, he'll pre-record his bits, and we can sort of work around it. Do a sort of two Ronnies sketch,
Yeah.
where he's saying, "I had a great time," and I was like, "What was it like beating Tom Elwes?"
Yeah.
in your family
If we
state?
managed to get an actual Hollywood actor into this shipping container, I would.
Well, he's not a Hollywood. He's not a Hollywood actor, but he's also your cousin. I mean, if I
Yeah.
had any famous cousins, my cousins do fuck all.
Really? Nothing.
One's getting married next year,
Okay, that's not.
and he works for. I think he still works for Virgin Help Desk.
Yeah, sick. Okay. Yeah, good.
And then my other cousins we sort of lost touch because my mum and brother have fallen out. Mum and my brother have fallen out big time.
Yeah.
But one was
What happened?
finishing
Just a
uni.
drunken Christmas. And
No, I wish it was that fun. No, it was my grandpa when he was in his late stages of life and getting dementia. My uncle, my mum's brother, really
Yeah.
wanted to get the money off of him.
a tale as old as time.
Yeah, and my mum wanted him to have care, well, that money to go to my grandpa's care, and so that was, now they've just fallen out big time. And I actually backed her up because I'm a hero. Because when they messaged to come to, I wouldn't have been our Edinburgh show, I think it was the year before Mid-Afternoon Madness.
Right.
They said, because they're in Scotland, they're like, "What time's your show?" And I said, "After the way you treated my mum, I'd rather you didn't come to my show."
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I wrote that in drafts, and then I said, "Yeah, come along." I wrote that, and so I don't really know. Last time I saw them was, and it's a shame because the cousins. I mean, they've not really done, anything particularly, but it's just that side of the family. I asked my mum, "Would you go back to Scotland?" She was like, "I've got nothing to go back for." So
Fair.
that was it.
So, families falling out. My dad's brothers, two of them, hate each other so much that at my grand's funeral, my dad's older brother, because he knew they hadn't seen each other in so long and they just avoided each other. I think there were restraining orders at some point.
Jesus.
He hired, because he knew he was going to come to the funeral, and the funeral was in my uncle's house, right? Or like the reception for the funeral, right? He hired security and he had them upstairs, and he went around the whole funeral being like, "If anything kicks off, press that. Guy from Scunthorpe's local dojo will come down and sort shit out." You know?
Ninja Neil.
Yeah.
I'm by the buffet.
Benjamin will come and sort shit out.
Come in. He's big. He'll bear hug you, and you'll be fucked, mate.
Yeah.
He's got a grip. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it, when families fall out? Do you think you're going to be close to your brothers and sister when you get older? Because this is what my mum's very worried about.
Yeah.
She's worried that me and I've only got one sister. That's it. I disown the other two. No, one sister who I went to the spa with, and we're close and we get on, even though we're very different people. She's happy and successful and stuff. But we're mates, and she's worried that we're gonna be
separate.
Are you gonna?
I think I've seen so much turbulence on my dad's side that we're also attuned to it, and the way it can go. So I think we've learned enough. Hopefully, you never know. Could all go to shit, but hopefully, I think we've all learned enough and seen enough. You know, once a restraining order's been filed,
It's mad, isn't it?
once your own family sued you at some point, then that's when you go, okay, I feel like let's avoid this if we can.
What a disgrace to get that through.
Yeah, you're being sued by your own family member. It's pretty shit.
Bad. But on to light things. I did a gig yesterday in Fleet. You ever been to Fleet?
Yes, I have actually. Weirdly, yeah.
Curry and a gig with mind readers going around at the breaks.
Okay. Didn't pay. No, that's what I was.
They said help yourself for as many naans as you want.
Yeah, you can take some home.
You get curry as well. You have to pay for curry, but you just take the naans. And you get popcorn without chutney as well.
Yeah, I might be able to sneak you a bit of mango, but
no, it was actually you got curry, lovely, and they did pay, and I was opening, and when I got there, it wasn't very populated, and the promoter, very nice guy, and he was like, it's a bit quiet tonight. We've done one here before. It was absolutely rammed, but we had the Bobby Davro on, so that's why. And I was about to laugh, and then I just you know the thing where you're going to laugh at someone's joke, and then just the half second you just catch yourself going, he's being deadly serious, and he was like, obviously Bobby was just class, mate. He just
different level.
Short, literally, he was just like, I've seen a pro in their prime, just. And then immediately I was like, this ain't going to be the audience for me.
Yeah. The Davro crowd. That is,
because that is the sort of joke that we would make on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I said, well, Bobby Davro was here, that's why we sold out.
Yeah.
But that's what the people of Fleet want. So people of Fleet want.
But it was a fun gig.
It was a fun gig. It was all right. Makes bad. Take the piss out of them. There was a proper big lads fucking table. Apparently of Leeds fans who used to go scrap, they like Leeds Ultras or something like that. I don't know why they do what they're doing in Fleet.
Weird.
Okay. But then they were all right. They started taking the piss as soon as I started immediately. But then I ripped on them a bit, and it was all good.
Yeah.
And anyway, I cried and went home. Still got paid, baby.
Every dollar.
But yeah, how's your week going? You been gigging much?
Yeah, been doing the gigs. Got some gigs.
Another great Tuesday.
Another lovely Tuesday at Vauxhall Comedy. Thank you for everyone who came down. It was a good old night. But there every Tuesday. Get your tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But had a few gigs. Got some more gigs. I'm back here at Vauxhall on Friday, and then I'm where else? I'm doing corporate tonight, and then there's gigs.
I didn't tell you about my gig at the Comedy Store on Friday.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
smashed it, mate.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was on my way, very nervous.
Yeah.
If you guys listening don't know about the Comedy Store, it's probably the most famous comedy club in the UK. Still, it's definitely got the most heritage. It's sort of said as like one of the most romantic places to play. 400-seater, very alpha when you're there. They want the best there. Although it's sort of chilled out apparently in the last year or so.
Right.
And I was on my way there, very nervous. And you know that feeling where you just need to shit.
Yes.
And I was at Embankment, and I was on the tube, and I was like, fuck.
It's coming.
This coming. So I went into a pub.
The classic pub.
Yeah.
Classic, just to look directly at the toilet. Don't acknowledge the barman. I've been sat outside.
Yeah,
I don't know.
if I keep moving, exactly, if I keep moving, I did buy 2 Jaeger bombs. just to say. Yeah, mate, I'm here for the drinks. Just keep moving, did stuff, went there, very nervous, and in the green room of the Comedy Store, Vittorio has played it very recently for the first time. You know what it's like. You're back there, and it's a feeling of like you're here to kill. You're here to destroy it. There's not let's see, like, have a go, or maybe the audience are a bit tough or whatever. You're there to crush it. And I gotta say, man, that when you see the comedians on there,
killers,
just killing it. It's like, because that night is long. Yeah, it starts at 8 o'clock. I think mine finished at 10:35 with one break for 20 minutes. And you normally, sections are like 35 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how long the MC is going to do. But it does not feel like it takes a long time. They just, everyone's doing well and getting big laughs. Yeah. And so I went on second, doing 10 minutes. Thankfully, it went well. And I went to the backstage. You had this recently with Don, the owner.
Oh, he gave you the chat.
Don was in, yeah. So Don is the owner of the Comedy Store, and he's in his 70s, and he's been in the industry for like 50 years, but owned the Comedy Store for like 40 years, and still gives his call on everyone. You fucking. That's how he talks. He's like, how'd you find that then? He just comes in with this grizzled Cockney voice. Yeah. And I've got to say, I was like, it'd gone really well, but I was still like, oh God, maybe he'll just be like,
slag you off for something. Yeah.
You think just getting laughs is enough, boy? You think that's enough, do you? You're into comedy. I remember when, who was it? I think a friend of ours, Darren Griffiths. I think we had him on the show, delete the episode.
Yeah, no.
And he said to Darren, you taking comedy seriously? And Darren was like, yeah. And he went, you got offered a gig in Glasgow tonight, would you go? And then Darren was like, well, it depends what the opportunity is. Like, gig's a gig, mate. Shouldn't matter. He told me that I shouldn't be doing, this was years ago when I was doing a 5-spot, shouldn't be doing stuff like podcasting. And I said, you listened, because I agree.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's fair enough. Bit of research.
Don't distract yourself with all that. This should be your only focus.
Yeah.
But he was really mellow when I saw him. I don't know if he's changed or whether he's just...
He was pretty chill when I saw him.
So how was yours? He said good things on you, didn't he?
It felt like I was meeting the in-laws. Do you know what I mean? Like, I went in and he bizarrely didn't ask me anything about comedy. Like, off the first bit, he was like, what have you done for the last 18 months then? And I was like...
Sorry, can you stop appropriating our culture? Goodness sake.
But he seems more chill because everyone in the green room was just like, just nod and say thank you, no matter what he says. But he basically went through and like asked me what I used to do, what I do now, and then went through my bits one by one and like literally just had given them titles in his little notebook and was like, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. And just went through and just like said that was good to like 4 of them and was like, yeah, come back for a 10. And that was the whole chat, and I was like, oh, that was much less terrifying than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Maybe he's chilled out, and maybe with the pandemic hitting and everything, he needs to know that it needs to grow and adapt, kind of thing.
Well, he's not in charge of the booking as much anyway. So I think that's as well where it's a couple of years ago when I first started doing 5 spots. I think maybe it was like he was still the be-all and end. He had to sign off on every fucker that comes in and tries to perform on my stage. But now it's like, I think, a little bit out of his hands. But yeah, I mean, very similar. I mean, when I did my first 5, he'd done that. And I still remember it. My best joke at the time, he was like, oh, this is your opener. Well, it's not strong, but you'll find something stronger soon enough. I was like, but it was fine. And then he was like, another bit, this bit showed you can speak French. Moved on. But this one, he literally didn't even do it. He just went, you mumbled a little bit at the start. I don't know if you found it a bit hard to hear you. But then, yeah, it was great. Get you back for a 20.
Great.
And then that was it. And then,
well done, man.
But I remember... thank you. I remember nothing from Tom, but I remember.
I mean, great. That's,
great in general. Not great for you. Just great that systems work. Yeah. But I remember the first five where I did that. I had a long chat with him, and he was just sitting back going, "Yeah, I used to be in a concert band. That's what I was doing.
Right?
10 years in this concert band." And I was the MC. I'd come on and do some. And back in those days, you had to do everything. You couldn't just go on and do one thing. You had to do jokes. You had to sing. You had to dance. And people expected that in those days. And I enjoyed it. It was all right for me because I was sleeping with a singer. So. And I was just there going,
the good old days.
So, what did you think of the set? Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. So,
but he's lived in France for the past 18 months, so that might have chilled him. Maybe
mellowed him. Bit of wine and cheese.
Well, it's because he thought when he saw my French bit, he was like, "That's fucking inspiring." That's inspired me to go to Bordeaux.
I'm off.
Fucking, I can't fucking speak French.
I mean, he must be made zillions off of the Comedy Store. I would have thought he must be,
Guess so. I mean, the place packs out. It's good price of ticket, and
they still pack out 400 every.
Yeah, busy, really busy. Yeah. Stag do in the front, El Clasico. Yeah. But it was great, and thank you everyone who came down and watched because you're a cracking audience. because that's always the worry. You go down there and you're like, I'm going to do my best jokes, and then there's just fuckers.
Fuck off, mate.
Yeah. Like I did when I did that gig in Edinburgh. Ginger bastard. My dad was in, but It's, that was. And you're like, you're calling ginger. You're Scottish. You're from the land of ginger. Dare you?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on to the news. Where to begin? So many stories. Let's start with the climate protesters blocking up London, ladies and gentlemen. They was on Monday that they did mass sort of protests around various different spots in London. There was lots of footage of people picking them up and dragging them off. I have a friend called Tom who was an ambulance driver, and he was actually in one of the videos forcibly removing one of the protesters because he literally had to get to a job in his ambulance.
Jesus.
How do you feel about it?
You've got a friend who drives an ambulance.
For you, mate.
I didn't think you would know people that sort of altruistic. Altruistic means sort of charitable.
Yeah, I'm aware.
but really, you have friends who drive ambulances.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, but also you have friends in Extinction Rebellion.
Yeah, it's tough.
Conflicting. Your mate went viral.
Shout out Sid for arresting a broccoli. He's a part of Extinction Rebellion. So I'm conflicted on the issues, guys.
Look, I think I did a gig with Vittoria on Monday and tried to say this on stage and didn't get loads of response.
Right.
So maybe I'll go down to podcast. But I mean, their cause is fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's stop the world from imploding.
Yeah. That's not,
But how can you be so irritating that you turn everyone against that cause?
Yeah, it's true. It's if you are so unbelievably, they're just going about it a bad way. But then their argument,
what is the way?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Because their argument is if we don't do this, we're not going to get the impact that we need. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe like stop airports. That'd probably be all right. I'd prefer that because then it's just like fuck the people going on holiday anyway. So so maybe why don't you do it to an airport, not people trying to get to work and ambulance drivers?
Well, they did. I think they did do it at Heathrow, didn't they?
Oh,
and then people were like, "Bruv, imagine being half an hour to your flight and you've got some ticket stopping you from your 2-week holiday." You would go racko.
They are very annoying the way they do it as well. Did you see? I saw the videos of like the builders pulling them off the road, and then so they pull them off the road, and the builders will like go back into their car and then like quickly scurry back and sit back down.
Yeah.
Just.
But they must believe in it. I will at this point refer to Frankie Boyle's bit on climate change, which is probably the funniest concise joke I know on it. Vegans saying they care about the environment, that's why they're vegan. If you really cared about the environment, you'd be a cannibal. If you really cared about the government, you'd eat pilots.
Yeah.
about the fucking environment. But look, I am conflicted because I think what they're doing is sort of noble. Like, it is. It's a really important cause.
It's a good cause.
It's
Very
really
good
bad.
cause.
And at the same time, it's hard. It's just generally hard to disagree with builders.
Yeah, unless they're smashing up your kitchen or done a shit job. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I theoretically am like, good for you sitting in the road. But if I was there and there were blokes going, "Fuck off, mate," and I wouldn't be going, "Stop."
Yeah.
I would be going, yeah, good one, mate.
Yeah. And it's one thing. I think it is when you're stopping ambulances and you're going about it the wrong way. Don't stop ambulances. I feel like okay, if there was a way of vetting it and they knew it was just people going to work, okay, maybe more. But like when you're stopping emergency services, you're a fucking melt.
Look, we all do our bits for the environment. I mean, that's why I haven't done any gigs in America or Asia.
Just sort of mainly the M25, actually.
Yeah. That's I do that out of choice. Oh, the offers I get, mate. The offers I get.
Rolling.
Carolines, New York, come and close. I'm like, no, mate. We've only got one planet, son, right?
Leave it.
The amount of people want me to do a tour of China. We've talked about it before. Yeah. The Hail Xi Jinping tour.
Yeah.
Edith on the road.
But you're more inclined to just be like, look, I'll do a tour and it's going to be the home counties. Yeah. That's where it'll be, okay?
I'm opening for Bobby Davro.
In Fleet.
I think that wasn't even, because that wasn't even the night he was on. There would have been 5 times as many people. But my point to you is, how do we actually get people to stop climate change? And how do we get businesses to stop climate change? Because then people buy from businesses, so...
I think
it's a middle class problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
got to come in at a government.
You've got to have the money to buy consciously and all that sort of
Yeah, and to affect real change as well, like government really need to intervene, which is what they're doing. Okay, so they have to be able to force industry to change, even if all the individuals, shopped a bit more consciously and traveled less or used eco flights or whatever. The impact would be still pretty minimal compared to.
What's preventing you from being vegan?
What's preventing me from being vegan? I just fucking hate animals. So
Vermin.
Yeah.
He only eats rats.
Yeah. No, I eat cows and all, but I see them all as rats. That's
yeah. Because I do think we're
What?
running out of time.
What? To be vegan?
To not be vegan.
To not be vegan?
Yeah.
What, you think everyone's going to have to eventually be vegan?
Yeah.
No.
Even if that's because silicon...
Synthetic meat made in a lab, that will be...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You'd still be vegan, wouldn't you?
Is that technically vegan? Is it vegan?
Of course that's vegan, bruv. If you're not eating animals and anything from an animal, that is vegan.
But that's from an animal. It's just a synthetic part of an animal.
No, it's not, isn't it? That's the point.
No, I'm talking about like making beef and because they're going to be able to grow actual beef and actual chicken in labs.
You got nuts.
No, that's true. Seriously, they're literally going to be able to do that.
What conspiracy hole have you ended up down this time?
I will show you them doing it. It's literally what they want to do. Like that's serious.
How can it be beef if it's from a plant?
No, it's not from a plant. They're like growing it. It's like beef cells that they're growing and expanding and then making synthetic beef in a lab.
Jesus, that sounds tasty.
Yeah.
It's still cheaper than the one at the fucking Salt Bay's restaurant.
Yeah, that's true. That is bullshit. I
haven't seen you down there, mate.
My friend Jack went and he said it was a complete rip-off. He pays.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, not just the complete rip-off, but he was just like he forked out like for the stupid, gold.
Salt Bay comes to your table.
Yeah, but he said literally the speed at which Salt Bay comes around your table is like it's like you're eating and it's literally he's practically just throws us off on the other side of the restaurant at different tables and then just runs off and. I don't know. If you're, to be honest, you're a bit of a moron if you're paying 500 quid to eat a
See, that's the sort of friends
steak.
I imagine you have, though. The ones who are.
Well, I've just got one, and he's like a proper sort of a bit of a geese who kind of he used to sell used cars, and now he works in the city. Who would have thought that was the trajectory for people?
Skills. Yeah. So you're saying we're going to eat beef from the ground?
No, it's not from the ground.
Beef from the ground are an excellent soul act.
Synthetic.
You can see them down at Ronnie Scott's. Ladies and gentlemen, we're beef from the ground. This is a cover of Just Stone.
No, it's it's synthetically made in a lab. Meat is a thing that may really actually happen.
Well, we'll try some live.
Yeah.
That'll be our new challenge because we're coming up to a year. Speaking of food challenges, we're coming up to a year since our hot sauce challenge.
Oh wow!
So we're going to need to do
another challenge. Okay.
Still one of our most viewed videos by some way on YouTube.
Okay.
So maybe if you're listening, pop in what sort of challenge you want us to see us do this year. It could be food, could be something else.
Yep.
Not nosh each other off.
Which is what a lot of you will say.
We're not doing it again. And we'll because it was December, we'll crack that out.
Yeah.
That out. So what else is in the news? Well, we have the party conferences that have been going on.
Woo!
The exciting Legion of Doom conference that's been happening in Manchester. The Tory party have been getting together to say what a fucking brilliant job they're doing.
Smashed it.
Rightly so.
They're sort of it's weird how much they're sort of like gaslighting the nation. It's sort of like
that's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
That's what the loony left have been saying.
It is bizarre. It's really kind of the lack of responsibility for anything going on is quite interesting.
It's scary. It is a bit.
I guarantee you.
1984, and I know that's very cliche to say, but in the middle of literal fuel and food shortages. Yeah. Fuel and food, the things we really need all the time, they're coming out and going, we are building back better. And you're like, and everyone's going, fucking yes, Boris.
You do. And
people are nuts.
But they're just like blaming, Boris is like, well, it's not my fault. It's actually the supply chain's fault.
Did you see James O'Brien take this apart?
Oh, no.
Oh, man. If you don't listen to James O'Brien, I mean, I don't listen to loads of his stuff, but he pops up on my feed. And I think he's always very articulate. You're not going to like him if you just don't like people who criticise the government. But he's just basically said, he's laying out that in 2015, when Brexit was starting, the campaigns were starting, and people were saying, well, we should remain because there will be supply chain shortages.
Yeah.
Then the Leave voters, the people who are now in power, the Leave campaigners said, that's bullshit. This is Project Fear.
Right.
See? 6 years later, this is exactly what's happened. Yeah. And the people who said it was bullshit and Project Fear 6 years ago are now in power saying, we always knew this was going to happen.
Not our fault.
And it's business's fault.
Yeah.
For not being prepared because we knew
We bloody told you. You know, we gave you ample time.
And that is scary. And he just lays it out. He goes like, and I'll repeat that again. And it is just, it's proper. It's like, so no one's got any consequences anymore.
Do you want to know what the turning point for me will be? And the nation.
Yeah, no. They run out of diesel, only the brave aftershave.
No. That was my first thought. But second will be actually when comes up to Christmas, no turkeys. That's when shit will get real. That's when people will be like, can't have it. Can't fucking have it.
That's when I said we're going to have to be vegan.
The day he comes out, he's like, you all bloody vegan Christmas.
The Christmas compost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck some more letters on there, Mum.
That is when the Daily Mail will switch up on this government to
But then it will be the problem of Belgian bureaucrats stopping our Christmas.
Yeah.
EU says no turkeys despite blah. It'll be someone else's fault. It's very scary.
The Germans have taken all the bloody turkeys. It's not our fault.
The bloody Turkish got involved. And they've taken all the bloody pigs in blankets. Yes. And I'll tell you why, because it's PC gone mad. Because people would rather have a Muslim Christmas, no pork, than a traditional English Christmas. It's illegal. It's illegal to have.
It's going that way. Honestly, it could be one of the harshest, scariest winters with. No, but seriously, with the lack of fuel, the heating costs spiraling, absolutely spiraling. Gas prices going out of control. Right.
Yeah.
It's we could be faced with it. It could be like proper. Go back to, was it the 80s or 70s? I can't remember, where it went down to like the 4-day week where you only had electricity in your house in the evenings like 4 days a week.
Is that right?
Yeah. We could be facing that.
Was that in real life, or was this in something?
No, it's real life. That was
conspiracy.
No, that was real life period of time in Britain. Yeah.
Oh, I forget you were around then.
Exactly. But but you wait until you get that, and then Boris will be like, "Well, we're knuckling down like the 70s, aren't we?
Like, this country has come through so many things. The Blitz and." Just like we come together and it is the perfect time to spend time with your family in the dark. Yeah. And this is a good time to remind you as well, if you would like, now there's no fuel or food to buy, to spend your money, you can donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/8ofpod. For just £4 a month, you can get an extra episode every week. Thank you very much to everyone who donates already.
Yeah, you can die with entertainment in your ears. That's
I'll tell you what, won't stop podcasting. This podcast,
the most
through everything, has
resilient podcast possibly in existence, and that is where you could really, be headed.
I had some. I met a Patreon backer when I was outside the store. Actually, they were coming. They were like, "Oh, I was coming to see you, but I couldn't see where you were gigging." And I was like, "I'm gigging fucking here, mate." And then she was like, "Oh, I want to say, you talk so openly about the sex party stuff. Do you not worried about your job?" And I was like, "Honestly, I never feel like anyone listens to this." So I have no issue talking about whatever.
Certainly not anyone I work with. They're not going to be checking in.
And then the final big news story.
Social media blackout.
Social media blackout. I was worried
that
I was going to lose any sort of use to society.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people were. I think that's,
How was I going to post my videos about being British?
Yeah. Ali had invested in several more wigs, okay, and he was really worried that would be a waste of time.
My £800 subscription wig box had just arrived, and I was livid. So, if you didn't know this story, Facebook, Instagram, and that's right, WhatsApp were all down for 6 hours in the UK.
No, it was global.
Was it
global? Yeah, it was in the US as well.
In global, then. For 6 hours, which is a lot. Normally it will be down for like an hour or something like that. So 6 hours, and this was on
Monday evening.
Monday evening. And we asked later for fail mail for your responses on that. We'll get to that later. But how did you find not being able to sort of post pictures of you in the gym, sort of saying biceps for life?
Yeah.
Son's
Curls
not
for
out,
the girls.
one's still out,
Yeah.
lol, curls for the girls and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, what I did is I just went straight onto TikTok and praised our new overlords.
Yeah. You know who's consistent? China.
Yeah. Always on the ball. Okay. So, downloaded Signal. And
Can't go down if they're not allowed to stop working. So,
exactly.
so yeah, that's good. Yeah, TikTok, great. And Twitter, the real rats of the social media. Twitter is the one I scroll through the most, by the way.
Right.
I contribute the least to. I've got the least profile on Twitter, but that's the one I look at the most because I enjoy it. Because it's funny and it's a cesspit.
It's an absolute cesspit. But it's interesting with like Twitter, everyone flooding back. That must have been the most traction Twitter had in decades.
There were some memes of like sort of quite well-to-do. There was like this very sort of shocked, sort of blonde lady in a mosh pit of people dancing to "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." And then it was like Instagram users logging back onto Twitter after 7 years, and she's just there going, "Oh my god." But yeah, so Twitter did well, but the WhatsApp one was weird because there was a point where I was like, how do I message people?
That was difficult. I guess
Text.
Oh, go back to the green bubble. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this
and
weird?
sort of waiting for it to go through.
No.
Thinking I might have to try again.
I mean, I feel like Mark Zuckerberg lost, what was it, 7 billion in total. It's been a bad week for Facebook.
Never lost 7 billion in my life. Fucking idiot.
Zuckerberg lost 7 billion. That was also to do with there was a Facebook whistleblower who came out and spoke to the press on Tuesday as well about Facebook's exploitative ways.
No way.
Yeah, apparently,
No
this is
way.
going to sound nuts, but apparently they have been putting profit over the mental health and well-being of their users.
No, cut this.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
No, I can't even.
I don't believe that either.
To describe, because
All hail the Zuck. That's
Mark Zuckerberg's always struck me as a sort of very likable, personable empath.
yeah.
So I'd be surprised if he'd build a company that was basically a load of bots and machines.
But they own everything. I mean, that going down shows you how much of the internet Facebook own, which is just massive. A huge chunk of the internet. They own if it goes down, you can't communicate with people. You can't post stuff. It was, you would understand, like actual Facebook. I mean, unless you're over 50, who cares? No one cares, right?
Yeah, unless you're trying to organise a gig in Fleet.
Yeah. In which case, smashed it.
They literally were coming up to us and going, "I saw you were going to be down here on the Facebook group." I was like, well,
great. Yeah.
very much.
Cool.
So yeah, that's true. I logged back into my MySpace.
Is that still going?
Yeah, and there was a message there
Yeah.
that I'd never seen.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it just said, "Tom Elwes is a dickhead." Yes. That's so lame, ladies and gentlemen. That was the news.
Oh, thank you very much. That's
the way to end.
But yeah, we will drop back into the
was a real message, by
Facebook
the way.
story. What, Tom Elwes is a dickhead?
Yeah.
Who was that from?
Tom from MySpace. It's a rival Tom, who you actually look like now in the white shirt.
He's actually quite funny on Twitter, old Tom from MySpace. Like, people slag him off and they're like, "Ha, imagine being Tom from MySpace." And he's like, "Ha, imagine making 780 million quid and not having to go to work every day."
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
So we move on to our next section, which is Agony Uncle, but not in a weird way.
Not in a weird way, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
we have your life mares, and me and Tom are going to try and give you some advice.
Right. So on this one, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like me and my partner ran out of anything to say to each other during the lockdown.
Yeah.
Do you think every conversation's been had during that lockdown period?
I think
kind of.
By continuing the podcast, we have proved that's not true.
That's true. But we are having some kind of life experiences. I don't think you've ever had a partner, so this is a bit of a weird one for you to answer.
Excuse me? I actually think I'm going to go celibate for a bit. Talk about
It would suit your demeanour. Actually, if you were telling people I'm a celibate man, that's something that people would be like, "Yeah, I totally get that." Yeah.
People look at me and they think, "Shagger."
If you went, "I'm celibate, but not for Christian reasons," even better. People would be like, "Yep, I totally get it."
This is how I'm going to say it to people. I'm celibate, apparently. So
if you want to help, I'm
I'll let you know
available.
how the celibacy goes, though.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the last month.
I reckon. I mean, what's the longest dry spell you've ever sort of had? You know,
6 years.
I don't know. It's hard to tell if that's a joke or not.
Between the age of 11 and 17.
Oh, okay.
We'll cut that out. I'm not going to cut it out. If you're watching on YouTube, this is still in.
Yeah.
No, my longest dry spell was 6 months.
Okay, that's pretty.
Oh, I think. Wait, no. How lockdown? Wait. That was. Carry the one. 2019. What year is it now? That would have been. No, it was like 6 months.
Okay, because apparently you can start calling yourself an incel after not having sex for like I think it's like 7 months. You can start. You can start calling yourself an incel again.
Close. Okay. Well, I'm back soon. No, I'm not. But I'm enjoying. I think I'm going to be celibate for a while.
Right.
Anyway, what was the question?
It's not really holding me back. All that sex that I could potentially be having.
I'm shagging. Trying to work. Trying to do my admin.
Leave me alone.
I keep going down on people.
Oh my god. Right.
Anyway, so if you are struggling for things to say to your partner, I've got one answer. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
Silence.
Silence.
You don't have to talk to them.
But like, you don't want to be that couple at the restaurant. Just.
I love it. I'd love to have that. What I want is them talking to me. I love it. You know that thing of, and then they talk about their day and you're like, fuck's sake. I love talking about when they talk about their day. The only problem, because I can just relax. But the only problem is I don't listen. So that is also what you need to do as well. So I'm sitting there going, nodding along and being like, this is so.
I can't wait to talk about myself on my Instagram.
No, because I talk about myself all the time. So I actually love just sitting there. But the problem is then they're like, what do you think of that? And I go, what the fuck did you just say? So that's not good. Silence, man. Relax. Don't feel like you need to talk all the time. Would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Don't feel like you have to. And ask each other really random questions.
I'm gonna
Just be like, if you had to, who would you rather fight, a leopard or like 8 squirrels?
Yeah.
And then see what they say.
That's the most male answer to that question ever. It's like, yeah, babe. So, what would you rather? What do you reckon, a leopard or 8 squirrels? Come on, what would you fancy? Like?
And if they don't want to answer that, then maybe you got the wrong person.
You're bloody loser then. So
Yeah, I can tell you. And then let me go first.
I've already thought about this.
Yeah, and then after you've talked for say maybe 25, 40 minutes, then the dinner's over. So
good.
What would be your advice? You are yourself. You have more experience in this because I've never been at that point in a relationship really. So
well, I would take producer Vittorio's advice, which was when we were discussing this pre-pod. He said, do some shared experience. You know, get out, do more stuff with your partner. Because you clearly, have some shared experiences, then you have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, one of which, Tuesdays at Vauxhall Comedy Club every Tuesday.
Come on down. Yeah, if actually we've saved several relationships. It's always sort of blank-faced people who sort of hate each other. Who
I
think
see
it'll
them
be
coming
better.
in, and
then they leave. They still break up. So
they're walking up to me. I've got to scan their code, and they're going, shut the fuck up. Hiya, yeah, we're here for the comedy. And then they leave, and they're normally getting off of each other. One person was getting fingered.
Right. Because they see you on stage, they think, well, it's got to be better than that.
They think. We put the fear in them.
Yeah.
I put the fear in them.
This is where it could go for you.
They think, look at that sad man. And then they you see them hold each other's hands just slightly tighter. A grip, if anything. Don't fucking leave.
Yeah.
That's what they say. So come down to Outage Tuesdays at Vauxhall Comedy Club every Tuesday. And that is something to... But yeah, that is a good point. Go and do stuff together, see stuff together, have opinions on it, realise you have a very different worldview and then break up. But look, I would say don't stress if you're not talking. Just... Oh, another thing as well, gossip. Oh.
What do you mean?
Gossip about other people.
Just gossip?
Yeah. It always gets people talking. You ever had that where you've got someone that you're not that close to and you sort of, there's a bit awkward silence and then you start going, so did you see what was happening with them the other day?
But like gossip just gets to... My girlfriend will like look at people she hasn't even fucking seen in like years and like be on Instagram and be like, I can't believe what she's just posted. And I'm like, you've not even fucking seen that person in like 2 years. Like you don't
But what do you say? You don't say that, do you?
No, I go, no way. No way. How's that happen?
Really?
What? No way. She did what? What?
Yeah, exactly. But I like that bit of gossip. I love hearing the gossip.
But like, I don't care. Like if it's someone I don't know and it's someone that you don't even really know, then that's when you're like, what is this?
I'll tell you what you should do, right? She goes, I can't believe what they've just posted on Instagram. That is mental. That's literally mental.
Yeah.
And you're going, fucking, I want to shoot myself in the face.
Yeah.
Or whatever you say, whatever you mutter to yourself as you're
yeah.
going to bed. But then you should come in and say, you'll never guess. I saw this 5 spot the other day, and apparently they're now getting into this place, but I don't know why they would.
Yeah.
And then see her face reacting like, this is the dullest shit I've ever heard.
She doesn't care.
Exactly. Have you seen that Channel 4 have rejected this?
It's commissioned what?
Yeah, exactly.
Losers.
What, on TV? No. Sorry, web series only. But anyway, they got nominated for an Edinburgh Prize.
Yeah.
And that's why but I saw them at a club and they died on their ass. And then she will similarly be like, my boyfriend tells me about the driest bollocks I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, there is nothing less entertaining than comedy goss to people who are not in comedy. It's about the most dullest thing ever. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's quickly move on to fail mail. We asked you to tell us what you did during the Facebook blackout.
So that was the fail mail question. In the 6 hours, what did you get up to? This is what we were asking. So a bit more of a genteel one. Obviously, we've got quite a few repeats, but this is also quite an interesting bit of market research to see what our listeners, you guys, are really up to. So we'll go as always first to the ADIF accounts. Tried to study, found new ways to get distracted, realised the problem was me, not them. Makes sense. Watching a film, then slept, which is admirable at that time, to be fair, to sleep that early. So well done you for a good sleep pattern. Tom, you got any there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people like slept. I was on a date, so didn't even notice.
Legend, was that me?
Show
Celibate
off
for life.
Yeah.
Celibate for life.
Some people read books. Some people did Christmas shopping, probably a bit early. But
Christmas shopping.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I know it's a bit intense, to be honest. I don't really like that.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that.
Cried about it in the shower and felt apocalyptic. That's
wow. Yeah. Okay, so this is more of a cry of help, but more on the upbeat. Finally finished my book with no distractions.
Oh,
lovely.
Okay.
Did just on a side note, did anyone message to say listen to all of this film?
Not a single one.
Not a single one.
Drunk a lot. There's a few people saying I drunk so much. A couple of people said I had a wank. That's nice.
I forgot I messaged him twice.
Yeah. Reddit, Twitter.
Reddit's a good one. So we've got Watch Free Guy. It's really good.
Okay. So who's that? Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was at the dentist. Evening dentist. That time. Evening dentist.
I don't know. Maybe it was from abroad. That's the only thing I can think of. I would not be going to nighttime dentist.
Do you know what time you should go to the dentist?
What was the best time to go to the dentist?
Best time to go to the dentist.
Morning, just after you brush your teeth.
You don't know the best?
No, go on. What was I don't know. It was an adequate time for dentistry.
Yeah. 2:30.
Why? 2:30. You're a fucking idiot.
I've never heard that before.
I've never.
Wow.
Thank you.
TikTok was on a date that apparently still thinks WhatsApp is out.
Oh! Okay.
Dump that. Went on a first date, didn't work out, but ordered the most expensive steak.
Oof.
And then also that same person's messaging saying, you. So.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you on a date with that person?
I'm celibate. Wasn't me.
Maybe it was to your photos.
Oh, so that was messaging by God.
Yeah.
Okay. Read, sort my life out. I explored Malta. With another.
That's just show off. What do you mean? Explored Malta. Works. A lot of people saying work, housework.
You know what? My brain is so far removed from the idea of going on a lovely holiday that I thought that was just on Google Earth or something like that.
That's something you would do.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what's going on.
Yeah. Look, okay. So they have a stand.
I'm actually going to watch a guy on YouTube walk the streets of San Sebastian.
Yeah.
What an interesting.
A 52-minute YouTube video. And then afterwards comment, that was shit. Barely saw any of Malta. Wanted to be more informative.
I've seen it now. Don't need to go there.
Yeah. Wait for Instagram, WhatsApp to not be down. Tweeted about it. Anything but work. Match loads of boys on Hinge that I can't be bothered to reply to now. Oh, legend.
Okay. It's probably a pretty prime time for dating apps.
Took an online autism test. It's quite an autistic thing to do.
This is definitely one of your friends. Okay.
These are my followers.
Yeah.
These are my people.
Took it online.
These are my people. You're welcome at any show.
Yeah.
Took a very long nap. I continued reading a book, Dune by Frank Herbert, in anticipation of the new movie. These are so my followers. These are so my followers. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Here we go. I didn't notice that those apps had been down. using just IG from this group. Yay for diversification.
Ooh.
I'm not quite sure what the point there was, but yeah.
Okay.
IG from this group. Okay, fair. Drank. I didn't realise it was down. Work and then family dinner. Sent emails. Checked Wi-Fi like 20 times. I was so happy to be disconnected I went to sleep. Someone who wants to be in the Matrix there. Went on Twitter like thousands of other losers. Wish I'd spent the time more wisely. Watched Lucifer on Netflix while sporadically checking to see if it was back every hour. Speaking of Netflix, Squid Game, you finished it?
Oh, ages ago, mate.
I'm only on 3 episodes. So allow me.
Why are you so far behind? What's
Because
wrong
I
with
do
you?
things with my life.
No. There's nothing more important than Squid Games.
Because I'm out there playing the real fucking Squid Game, mate.
Yeah.
I'm making all that one.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. We've all both watched Bond as well, and we both think it's good.
Sign up to our Patreon if you want to hear our review of Bond.
Yes, exactly. I went for a walk and then watched a film on TV. I went and did a gig.
You a film on YouTube? Oh,
No, as in
like you,
someone
not
asked me a
you,
question.
the show.
Put common decency, Tom.
Okay.
I went and did a gig, and then by the time I was back, it was sort of, and then watched the first episode of Squid Game.
Right.
Or second episode. Use Snapchat and normal text messages. Twitter.
Snapchat. That's pretty old school. That's what.
I thought that was a young person thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? This is us. This is so lame.
Oh,
I thought that was a young person's thing.
that Snapchat's still going.
That's Snapchat. Twitter, I haven't noticed. Had a good rest. Laundry and watched clickbait on Netflix. Worked. I wish Teams was down instead. I was asleep. SMS, lol, actually went there. Actually went to text messages.
Just
Wow.
group text to multiple people.
Sleep, got on with my life. I didn't know I was down. Talk more. Panicked. Jesus. Working, cleaning, organising, and talking with flatmates. Basically, living my life. Lived. Fuck off. Fair though. Check when it comes back, and then use Twitter. So a lot of people on Twitter. So well done you. That is very good. That's where I was. To be fair, trying to do tweets, trying to go viral on Twitter. Hard work. Spent 7 minutes doing that. Realised, you can't just tweet something you think deserves 1,000 retweets, and then it gets it, and then logged off.
The wigs are not appreciated on Twitter in the same way.
Are you using Twitter yet? Still? Or no?
I've got a Twitter.
I know
I've
you've got.
I've tweeted. I'd say about 8 times in total. I would have thought. Some did all right, and then
6 for retweets of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. Guys, he's actually got some pretty interesting things to say if you really listen.
Don't listen to what people have to say about him.
Yeah. Just make your own mind up.
Anyway, he's our guest next week. But no,
Mate,
I wish. That
Yeah.
wish we fucking
Smashed it.
We're not getting him next week anyway because we've got Kerry Elwes coming in.
Oh, can't. But yeah. I'll keep you updated on the Kerry Elwes situation. Still not replied to any of my DMs, but hopefully,
DMs? You got to DM your own cousin?
Yeah, I don't actually know other way to contact it. I probably get his email address. I'll get his email address, and I'll send him an email. And be like, we have a podcast with 12 of listeners, and we would love you to be on it.
We'd love you to come, and we want to hate on the. We're gonna rip on the Princess Bride. Do it like an ultimatum. We're gonna rip on the Princess Bride whether you're here or not.
Yeah.
So come or don't come.
He probably would be more inclined if we said it was a Princess Bride podcast.
Well, of course.
Yeah. No, but if we said the whole thing,
well, we could.
It standard for like all I do is.
It's part of the press thing. We could do it about the film on Netflix that he's in.
Yeah, maybe.
Castle in the Christmas Castle.
Christmas
A
Castle.
Castle for Christmas.
Yeah, probably not having too much of a junket, so probably.
That's one of those that couldn't scream more straight to video.
Yeah. That was just like so his agent was just how does $1 million sound? That's what it said. That was the opening line from his agent.
Oh, I bet. And also, I bet this is how the idea for the film went. It went, okay, this year, as every year, we're doing a something for Christmas.
Yeah.
Now let's spin the wheel. Castle!
Boom!
All right, and then they pay scriptwriters like 10 grand each. Go write the script. We'll get some people to do it.
So, mate, Channel 5 in and around the Christmas period, there was just
mad stuff.
Maddest Christmas.
Yeah.
Crazy, constant. You can watch a Christmas film with actors in their sort of 30s and 40s in some Christmassy location falling in love. Just constantly. Like, it's unbelievable how many, they're like Hallmark films, aren't they?
Have you watched a Sharknado for Christmas?
No.
That should be our one. Right, well, we're getting the festive spirit already.
Sharknado for Christmas.
Got to do Halloween first. We need a spooky special.
I want the British gangster Christmas film. That's what I want.
What's that?
I don't know. It's just like ho, ho, ho. Or something.
Yeah.
He's a pimp in East London. It's
he's a bit. Yeah, well, we'll film that. We need to do a spooky special first. We need to do a spooky.
we could do one dressed up. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Come in a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
What are you going to go as?
Well, we were thinking Squid Game.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because the thing is, loads of people will be in Squid Game, but it's also very funny because if you have lots of people rolling around with numbers on, that is quite fun because then it feels like you're actually playing the Squid Game.
Yeah, that's true. But you need some people to go as guards as well.
Yeah, but I think people will. There'll be one or two.
Right.
About.
Okay.
What are you going to go as? Sexy vampire?
Werewolf. Sort of a skull.
Lifeguard?
Yeah.
El Clasico, mate.
My least favourite one is when like it's just like a guy who's like gone as a lifeguard or something. He's like, yeah, but I'm dead, and they've just like a little.
Oh yeah. They got a
little
bit
of blood.
Dead lifeguard?
Yeah.
You die jumping in the shallow end, mate. Fucking idiot. Anyway.
Thank you very much, guys. You have been amazing. This has been All I Do Is Fail. We will see you next week. You can follow me at all good podcasting outlets. You can follow this podcast at all good. You can follow me at all good social media outlets. Ali.
At Ali Was Gigs. You know where to find me at ADIFPod if you want to follow us for some content in between the episodes. And also, if you do want to donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/ADIFPod, you can find us there and you can donate for just £4 a month, so £1 a week. We'll get you an extra episode every week. And thank you very much to those who support us on Patreon. We really appreciate it. Until then, we may see you down at Vauxhall Tuesdays, ADIF Tuesdays at Vauxhall Comedy Club. But if not, take care. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.